Imagine this. You're a traveler in ancient Mesopotamia, standing in the sweltering heat. You've just harvested enough grain to last you through winter. But there's one problem. How do you stop it from rotting before the season even changes? Humanity faced this exact challenge thousands of years ago, and the solutions they developed shaped civilization as we know it. Welcome to the fascinating history of food preservation, a story of survival, ingenuity, and sometimes pure luck. Here's a question for you. Could food preservation techniques hold the key to feeding the world's future population of 10 billion? Stay tuned, because the answer might just surprise you. Before refrigerators, freezers, or vacuum-sealed packaging, humans faced a relentless adversary: time. Spoilage meant famine. Famine meant death. This isn't just history. It's humanity's greatest survival tale. Let's travel back to 2000 BCE, where early humans stumbled upon two of the simplest preservation techniques: salting and drying. By rubbing salt onto meats or drying fruits under the sun, they discovered ways to halt decay. But how did they figure this out? Did someone accidentally leave meat in the sun and think, hey, this jerky tastes great? Or did salt become their first scientific experiment? Let's be honest. If they could make salt work, it's proof humans will eat anything as long as it's still edible. Salt didn't just preserve food, it preserved history. Ancient Egyptians salted fish, Greeks salted olives, and Roman soldiers carried salted pork during conquests. Without it, empires might not have expanded, armies might not have marched, and dinner tables would have been, let's say, boring. Fast forward to ancient India and China, where people began soaking vegetables in brine. Pickling transformed cucumbers into snacks, cabbages into kimchi, and vegetables into lifelines during harsh winters. Here's a twist. Pickling wasn't just practical, it was revolutionary. These jars of briny goodness carried vitamins that kept scurvy at bay, especially on long sea voyages. Did you know pickles even played a role in global exploration? Christopher Columbus stocked his ships with barrels of pickled goods, possibly saving his crew's lives. So, next time you crunch into a pickle, thank it for world exploration. Who knew it was the real MVP? Now here's where things get magical, or maybe scientific. Fermentation, a process accidentally discovered, became an ancient chemistry experiment. From cheese to yogurt, fermentation not only preserved food, but also added complexity to flavors. Ancient civilizations like the Babylonians and Greeks adored fermented drinks, not just for preservation, but for a little, well, fun. But what's even more fascinating is that fermentation is alive. Those bubbles? That's living yeast and bacteria transforming sugars into alcohol and acids. Think about it. Your sourdough bread is practically alive before it hits the oven. While salt and brine preserved flavor, freezing preserved nature itself. Indigenous communities in colder regions stored food in snow and ice, an ingenious adaptation to their environment. In the 19th century, ice harvesting became big business. Blocks of ice were shipped worldwide, creating early refrigeration. It's wild to think that before electricity, ice could make or break an industry. But what happened when ice wasn't enough? How did humans overcome the challenge of preserving food in warmer climates? Enter the early 1800s, where one Frenchman's obsession with feeding Napoleon's army led to a groundbreaking invention: canning. Nicholas Appert discovered that sealing food in glass jars and boiling them could keep it fresh for months. Here's the kicker. This method wasn't fully understood for decades. People knew it worked, but they didn't know why. Canning revolutionized wars, trade, and exploration. It was no longer just about survival, it was about convenience. Though let's admit it, opening a can of mystery meat still feels like a gamble sometimes. Finally, the invention of the refrigerator in the late 19th century marked a turning point. Refrigeration didn't just preserve food, it transformed diets. Suddenly, perishables like milk, meat, and vegetables became staples, accessible year-round. Today, we've gone even further with vacuum sealing, freeze drying, and preservatives, creating a global food system unimaginable to our ancestors. But here's a chilling thought. Could modern food preservation be too effective? With additives and chemicals in almost everything, are we trading longevity for health risks? Now, as we stand on the brink of a global food crisis, food preservation may once again hold the key to survival. Scientists are exploring futuristic methods like 3D printed food, edible coatings, and even lab-grown meat. Imagine biting into a burger that's never seen a cow or sipping milk created entirely in a lab. It sounds like science fiction, but it's quickly becoming our reality. But what about the past? Food preservation helped humanity thrive. But could the history of money show us how trade and commerce shaped our diets? To uncover how currency influenced the food we eat, click on our next video, The History of Money, How Currency Evolved Over Time. Dive into the fascinating world of trade, wealth, and the power of economics.